All right, guys, welcome to Friday. It's 75 and sunny. Time to get some stuff done. Let's go. Welcome back, gang. Welcome back to another log on the log rack. Ready to get it up on the mill and get some stuff done, but as we're trying to develop this, we are talking about this thing before we do something to it. So this is another oak log. All right, we've got this is the large end, 12 inches up here, 10 inches down at the small end, and it's got a nasty little kink in it, and it's right over here. So I think I can salvage some of this. Again, my expectations for this here, again, this is one of the pieces of oak that was up here at the top, so I would like to get a 6x6 post out of it. And because this kink is down here at the end of it, you know, it just about starts just beyond 8 feet in length from this end down here. So one of the edges, one of the ends of my sawmill cover is going to be 8 feet. So plus you're going to put almost like a ridge board or a ridge beam across the opening. So it's going to actually be a little higher than that once you know, the purlins get on and all that other stuff. So 8 feet will work. 8 feet will definitely work for me. I'd rather concentrate on getting that out of that 8 feet than having to deal with this little bend here at the end. So ideally, if, you know, I had to come across level across the most of it here and then take a really big chunk out of the end, you know, that's what might have to happen. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not quite sure because of that what other kind of material I'll get out of it. I'll certainly try. But again, we'll have a wrap up at the end of this video just to kind of show you, you know, where things ended up. But other than that little kink, really not a very crazy log. Got a little bit of an old branch here that broke off, so that might have some decay inside it. And then just really just some branches that I had cut off. And as well as this part right here is an older branch, again, might have some rot in it, but that's in that, basically that 2-foot section right there that may not be too important, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, let's get it on the rack. Here's how we're looking at it. This is the way I have it set up. I just checked the pith on the large end. We're about 3¼ inches from my measurement, and it was almost exact on the front. So I'm not even going to put the toe board in motion here. But what I do have, I have these cut branches that are kind of on the top here. I want to kind of get rid of that, and that's really where this is a side up, so the hump is up right now, and I'm not sure how well that's going to show up as far as, you know, actually seeing it. But there's probably a gap. Let's see here. Yeah, there's about an inch gap right there between that bunk and the log. So yeah, hump is up. So we'll see. I'm gonna make my first stab at this. I kind of moved my blade up to it. I'm gonna, on my scale on the mill itself, when I got down here to this end, 10 inches is about just cutting kind of near the top of this back part of it, and it barely touches the front here. So I'm gonna make my first cut at 10 inches, and we'll see how that works, kind of lopping off that little hump a little bit. Sorry guys, I missed that first 4 feet of that first cut. I got you. Just rolled it over 90 degrees, so the flat side is now against my log stops that are on the other side. But check this out. I'm gonna have to do some readjusting here. So there is a knot right here that is unproportionally pushing this log up. I want it on kind of the lower part, probably this area right in here rather than this. And this is how this is how much the front is off the bunk. I mean, that is a good 3 inches there, at least, off the bunk. So I'm definitely going to have to do some adjusting, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to turn the log another 90 degrees and put the flat portion of the log I just cut on the bunks. I'm not quite sure what that's going to get me, because I mean, obviously I'm going to have to address this side of the log eventually, but I'm not sure if that flat side, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to turn it, and we're going to make a cut, and we're going to go with it. that cut there was cut at right at 10 inches, so I barely took anything off the top. But what I'm watching for is the end here. So I want to make my next cut obviously lower, but I don't want to take too much that I totally screw up the can. So I should be, I'm going to make this cut at 8 inches, so that's going to make it 8 inches thick. And that should definitely get some more of this bark off of the top of this cut. Let's see. That actually didn't turn out too bad. So it's 8 inches thick right now. So I have 2 inches to play with, top or bottom. Now I have to address the curve. Okay, now that I have a nice flat surface, granted it may not be flat up there kind of towards the beginning, I'm going to flip it 180, and now I'm going to address that big curve that's now on the bottom. What I'm looking at, I've got good flat surface back here all the way up until this front bunk. What I'd like to do, I want to scoot the log forward so that this flat portion here can sit down on the bunk. Okay, I just made that first cut at 10 inches. Same situation here. I'm going to drop it down to 8, get more of that bark off of there. Okay, I only dropped that to 9 just to see what that was going to do for me. I got to keep in mind that I want this end, this part of this log, this 8 feet to be, you know, what I'm going to use. And definitely that part down there where the bark is, that's definitely within that 8 feet. that left me with an 8x8 cant right now. So right now I'm going to flip the log a few times, try and figure out where I need to go get those 2 extra inches off each side to make it 6x6. Just rolled it over here, swept it off, and take a look. It really couldn't have gone any better as far as the post being able to really utilize the full 10 feet of this post. So I have minimal, you know, some wane right there, minimal there, just a little bit up here as well, and the other side. A little bit of sapwood through here, but this is my biggest problem. So as I was flipping it and stuff, this is just plain rotted. Let me get my knife out here, see if we can't show this a little better. I mean, this is just rotted through here. And, well, there we go. So it looks like it kind of goes through to this other side here. But there's no doubt this is just a chasm of rotted wood. I mean, it is wet inside there, and I don't know how deep that goes. Obviously, this is not good. I'm going to throw it on the rack. We're going to dry it, and well, we'll see. Remember this incident. I'm sure we'll talk about it again once, you know, some drying takes place, and it really is just kind of this quadrant of the cant, because this defect is only right here. It's not on any of the other sides. So obviously it was one of those spots there that I showed you in the beginning that you know, had maybe a broken branch or something. I'm sure water got in there for decades or something like that. But yeah, so we'll have to address that. I'm probably going to clean that out as best I can right now. I think that if I left that in there, it would only, you know, want to decay more. So I'm going to try and get it out of there, and well, we'll see what's left. So anyway, so the 6x6 turned out great as far as cutting goes. You know, we could have done without that that little rotted portion. And then, like I said at the beginning, wasn't really holding out much hope to get much other material out of it. So I got a couple 1x pieces here. This is a 2x piece, and then there's kind of maybe a 3/4, but that's mostly, it's all sapwood and bark. I don't think that'll be really usable. But yeah, I mean, I might have some use for this end of this 2x down here, and you know, who knows about this 1x stuff. So I did end up getting some stuff out of it. Whether or not it'll be good wood and usable, you know, TBD. So this is where we're going to end it for this one here. This is my 3rd oak log, and it's the 2nd time I've found something amiss about these logs that I have here. So all right, guys, we're moving on. Next one up.